When a child's brain says learn, but their body says, I can't, everything falls apart. Sensory based interventions can help reconnect those two worlds. And today I'm going to talk about the ones that research shows us can actually work. Hi, everybody. I'm Margaret from Your Therapy Source. And today we're going to break down sensory based interventions in a way that's practical, evidence informed, and easy to apply. So, whether you're an educator, a pediatric therapist, or a parent, hopefully you'll find these strategies and this information helpful. So, a major review looked at research from 2015 to 2024, and the findings tell us a lot about what truly helped kids regulate and participate. So, let's get started right away. Sensory-based interventions, or SBIs, are short, simple strategies that give a child specific sensory input to help their body get ready for learning. These approaches aim to temporarily adjust a child's arousal level so that their mind and body are working together instead of fighting each other. So, sensory-based interventions aren't long-term treatment. They're quick tools that help kids participate right now in that moment. So, for example, a sensory-based intervention could help when a child feels too revved up and can't focus on the task. Maybe they feel low energy or totally sluggish. Maybe they struggle to stay calm during transitions, or they need support to get ready for a task. I think we can all say this as adults too. We recognize it in ourselves. So let's talk about how sensory-based interventions are different from Ayres sensory integration. You may hear occupational therapists use that terminology, and there can be a lot of confusion about the two. So let's just clear it up. So Ayres sensory integration is a specialized therapy approach that requires advanced occupational therapy training, or sometimes it might be a physical therapist. It's child-led, and it uses play at just the right challenge level, and it aims to create long-term change in the sensory system. Sensory-based interventions are different. They're adult-directed, they're short and practical, and they're designed to help the child participate in the moment, like I said. So think of Ayres sensory integration more as attempting to change the wiring, and sensory-based interventions are giving a quick tune-up so the child can function right now in the moment. So let's talk about what sensory-based interventions look like. So here are some common ones that you might already be familiar with or that you've seen. Maybe massage or joint compressions, weighted blankets, we hear a lot about those, or weighted vests, wearing ear protection during noisy activities, passive swinging, turning down the lights or the sound, using a calming space is a great sensory-based intervention. And then there's simple sensory routines that teachers or caregivers can use anytime. So these strategies can be used at home, in the classroom, in therapy sessions, or by the child themselves. So let's talk about what the research says. This review looked at 21 studies to give us a clear guidance and a clearer picture on sensory-based interventions. So the strongest evidence supported deep pressure tactile input, think proprioceptive heavy work activities, caregiver training, so important, and home-based sensory routines. I always talk about routines and how helpful they are. So these consistently improve sleep, emotional functioning, self-regulation, and participation. Wonderful, right? There was moderate evidence to support multisensory strategies that are used with intention, sensory routines that were matched specifically to the child's individual needs. And then there was some strategies with little to no benefit. I was surprised to see alternative seating like wobble stools or stability balls didn't help students stay on task. Fidget spinners in general were not helping students stay on task. So it's not that these items are harmful, and it might work for some. It's just the research that's been done shows us that they're not reliably improving attention or performance. So, and there was quite a few strategies that really needed some more research, sensory rooms and major classroom environmental modifications. There wasn't enough research on that. So let's talk about what this means for you in the classroom or at home. The most effective sensory support is the one that matches the child's specific sensory preferences and the demands of the moment. So here's what we know might help. Using deep pressure when appropriate and safe, and heavy work activities, proprioceptive activities, building these simple sensory routines into the day, teaching caregivers to use the same strategies at home, so important, Pick tools based on the child's needs, not trendy tools, and don't rely on alternative seatings or fidgets to fix attention. We might need to be looking at more active sensory-based interventions because they're very powerful when used thoughtfully and consistently. So, and remember, when a child's body feels regulated, everything in terms of learning can really get easier for them. Their focus hopefully will improve. Their behavior makes more sense and participation becomes possible. So thanks for watching. And if you want more videos on evidence-informed sensory and self-regulation strategies, be sure to hit subscribe. And also you can head on over to the blog and you can read more about this research study and get the reference. All right, see you next time.